So fourth place trophy here, and we've just wrapped up Barcelona and Real Madrid. And now we're moving on to the rest of La Liga. Atletico and Real Sociedad are both in contention for a Champions League. Real Sociedad yesterday played a playoff against Olympique Lyonnais. They won 2-0 with two stunning goals. If you haven't seen the goals, you should definitely check them out. We will also touch bases with Sevilla and Valencia. To kick things off, to Gaza, what do you think of Atletico Madrid and how they've done in the transfer market? Do you think that they have recovered well from selling Falcao?
Yeah, I do actually. I believe a lot in David Villa. I believe, for me personally, that his best time was in Valencia, and I think that if he could become the same player that he was in Valencia, he was good as well in Barcelona, but I thought that he stood out in Valencia. And if he could become that player, then he could score even more goals than Falcao. Because I think he's more complete than Falcao. He assists, he scores, he's very good. He kind of goes back to the midfield and picks the ball and moves forward with the rest of the players. And I think that he has learned a lot from Barcelona as well. Being in Barcelona and now going to Atletico Madrid, he's a better player. And I think I believe he'll do well for Atletico. And Simeone also knows how to get the best out of his players. So I believe that they will do well this year.
How far do you think that they can go in the Champions League?
Oh, in the Champions League. It always depends on their group. I mean, if they take a group with Bayern, Juventus, and PSG, then I don't see them getting past it. But if they take a good group, they could finish in first place, second place, depending on the teams. And in the Champions League, it always really depends on who you go against. The season, the group stages have to start, and that's when you'll be able to tell or be able to predict, if a team is going through, whether a team is going through or not. But I believe that if they take on the regular teams, when I say regular, I mean teams that are not like Madrid, Barca, Bayern, Juventus, and the bigger clubs in today's football, then I believe that they could go far.
Okay, LTM, same questions for you. How do you think they did in the transfer market? Do you think that they improved after selling Falcao?
I think they'll be fine without Falcao because they were more than just Falcao, and I think a lot of people just looked at them as that because he was the big name in the team. I think there were numerous players on the team last season that can score. I mean, their midfield alone, even their other attacking players, I think there are a lot more players that even if when Falcao didn't play, they scored goals. So I think they will be perfectly fine without him, even without David Villa. I think even him coming in, if he scores even 10, 15 goals alone, I think even that adding to the team that they already have, I think they'll be perfectly fine. Even their defenders can score. I think if anything, I mean, for me, the most important thing for them is probably Diego Simeone. He's the most important part of their team just because he's carried them so far and won so much with them already. So to me, I don't consider Falcao really that much of a factor. Honestly, I really don't.
Yeah, I think Falcao is a great player. I'm pretty sure Zilch would agree with me. Zilch just absolutely loves Falcao. But I think it's very obvious with Atletico having the best defensive record last year that their defense is really what took them to third place and not so much Falcao. Anyways, moving on, Real Sociedad. What do you have to say about them, John? They lost Iramendi, and more importantly, in my opinion, they lost Montagnier. How do you think they will do next season?
I agree that losing Montagnier is the bigger loss of them, because Iramendi was just one of okay midfield. And as far as Montagnier goes, if I've understood correctly, the replacement, Arasate, similar to Tito, but he was the assistant. So he should be familiar enough with how Sociedad play. And considering how little the team has actually changed, they should be able to continue playing the way they did without a manager who knew how they played. So I don't think that there'll be that big a problem there, actually. Especially if you consider that last season they had two starters in midfield. They had Illarramendi and they had Bergagas. And now one's gone, but they've got Granero on loan. And is it Surutusa as the other senior midfielder? And they've got a youngster, two years younger than Illarramendi, who's already further along than Illarramendi was at his age. He's Pardo at 20 years of age, and he's got already got 40 appearances for Sociedad. So I think they'll do just fine. What do you think, Peter?
You touched on some of the key players of the squad. I think that Antoine Griezmann and Seferovic, I believe is his name, are going to be huge this season. Not to mention Carlos Vela. They look like a very formidable team. I think that, as you said, Pardo is a very good player. I'm not quite sure if he's younger than Illarramendi, but he is a very good player, and they do have enough depth to cover over Illarramendi. So moving on to Sevilla, they sold Negredo, Navas, and Gary Medel. I personally think that losing Gary Medel is awesome. What do you think, LTM? What do you think about their transfers this season, and who do you think is going to be the key player for Sevilla this upcoming season?
Well, I completely agree with you because Medel, he's nothing more than a liability to them. And I think I read recently that he got sent off for his first game with his new team. I'm not sure. I think that's what I read. So, I mean, I think that's good for them.
Oh, yeah, Gary Medel is a nutcase.
Yeah. So I completely agree with you. I think that's a good thing for them. Nothing but good things for them. Key players, Rakitic. I think he's been their key player for a while now. One of their best players, if not their best player. And coming in, I think another player that's going to be important for them is probably Kevin Gramero. I think he's coming from PSG. So I think this is his time to probably shine and do well. I think another player that could potentially be a big player this season for them is Kondogbia. And I think a lot of people are talking about him right now. I think even like Manchester United are talking about him. People are wanting to get him on their team because he's showing a lot of qualities. Even people are comparing him to like Yaya Toure. I only see good things for Sevilla this season. And I think they'll still challenge for like maybe 5th, 6th. Because I think there's a lot of competition in Spain this season.
Yeah, I really like what Sevilla has done this season. I didn't think Negredo was at his best, and I think Negredo...
Yeah, I mean, I think they've done... I don't think it's a big deal that he left. Maybe Navas, maybe.
I didn't think Navas was doing very well for the past 2 seasons. I think his contribution for Sevilla wasn't that lacking. Great. I don't even think his assist numbers were that great last season.
No, they weren't.
I think Kevin Gamero is going to be a good signing for them. He, in Ligue 1 last year, he was second behind Ibrahimovic in goals per minutes played. So that's a great sign for them.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way too. I feel behind Rakitic, he's going to be another key player. And I feel like this would be his time to shine for me here in Sevilla.
Yeah, I think one of the players to watch though with Sevilla is this new player that they bought, Carlos Bacca. He's I believe he's reigning player of the year in Belgium, and he's quite a goal scorer. And from their first match, he was very involved in play. So keep an eye on him. I certainly will. I have him on Dream Footy. Moving on to Valencia. Helder Postigo is brought in to replace Soldado. Do you think that addition will be strong enough for a top 4 finish? What do you think about it, John?
Well, I don't think Postigo will be able to directly replace Soldado for quality, but I'm not sure if that will actually matter. I think the side is strong enough anyway to place in the top 4. I mean, they were so close last season anyway, and now considering how much other teams have changed, they've stayed pretty much the same, so they've got good chances. If anything, the major question point is the managerial change, if Dukic can actually follow up. I mean, he's got some big shoes to fill.
Yeah, he has big shoes to fill and a lot of expectations to fill as well. To Gaza, what do you think of Valencia. Do you think that they will regain a top 4 spot, or do you think they're too weak or the other teams are too strong?
I don't see them regaining top 4, not this season. It's both that they've weakened a bit and the other teams have become stronger. Atletico Madrid, I'm sure, are stronger. Sometimes you don't even need to make too many signings to become stronger. The fact that, the team start to gel even more, as the months pass by and everything, the team already becomes stronger. So, I don't see them regaining top 4. As for Postiga, I don't think he's any near, the quality of Soldado. I don't think he was a good enough replacement. But as for that, we're gonna have to wait and see. Maybe, he does well. He connects well with the other players in the squad and scores a good couple of goals. But as for 4th place, I don't see them making it.
I think we can all agree that Postiga is not gonna, I don't think he's gonna cut it at all.
Absolutely.
Who do you guys think will have to step up for Valencia to do well?
The manager.
Yeah,
Dukic. I think Dukic will have to be the deciding factor.
I keep forgetting his name. The one that's bald in he plays for Valencia.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Feguli?
Feguli, yeah.
Yeah. Feguli. I think, he's very important for them. His work rate is excellent. He doesn't always get the goals or the assists, but almost every time the Valencia score, he's involved, so he's very important for the squad. And then there's also the Brazilian, the striker,
Jonas.
Jonas is really gonna have to step it up to, try and, he's gonna be the one guy excited about, replacing Soldado. Cause like we said, Postiga, he's not enough quality. Jonas is familiar with the squad already, and I do expect him to be the guy scoring goals for Valencia. So those two, at least going forward, if they step it up, it's gonna be still a competitive squad. I don't see them making 4th place, but Valencia are always a very competitive squad and always very hard to play against.
So, who do you guys think will be top 4 if not Valencia?
I think it's the same ones who are top 4 this season. I expect Madrid, Barca, in that order. Madrid, Barca, Atletico Madrid, Madrid, and Real Sociedad to make top 4. I'm just playing about the order thing. I don't know.
I kind of agree with that. I think it's going to be Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico. But I think Sevilla has made good enough changes that I think that they are going to just squeak into 4th place.
John, what do you think?
I'm not saying anything. I'm pretty sure that Barcelona and Real Madrid will be in the top 4, but the other 2 places I can't tell.
I have to disagree with you guys. I don't think Sociedad is gonna be top 4, and my reason is it's been a while since they've been in Champions League. To me, it's going to wear them out because I think there's a lot of competition in Spain this season. So they're going to have to fight it out in La Liga. They're going to have to fight it out in Champions League. And I think squad depth is going to be a problem because it's always an issue. And we've seen what happened to the other teams in Spain when that comes in. And I think so far, the only team who's really managed it well is probably Valencia, because I don't know, I feel like they've always had a reasonable amount of depth. And I think the team you've seen playing against the team that Real Sociedad put out, I think that's the team that they're going to be putting forth to play a lot of games, the important games. So I don't see them making top 4. I see them making maybe 5th, 6th, not top 4.
If not Real Sociedad, then who?
I don't know who. I think there are a few teams that could take it, but I'm not sure who as yet. I think in the next few games, I think teams will probably stand out. As you said, maybe Sevilla, maybe Athletic Bilbao will come back. I guess we'll just have to see about that, but I definitely don't feel like Real Sociedad is going to be able to make top 4. And if they do, great for them. I just don't see it happening as yet.
Okay, that is, yeah. I think that they're gonna have some problems managing European football with, La Liga and Copa del Rey. But anyways, our time is coming to an end. Just remember, Barcelona, Real Madrid, top 4, John said it first. So this is the conclusion of our La Liga podcast for 4th place trophy. I just want to thank our guests for coming in. Hope to see them back soon. I want to thank the listeners for listening, and I hope you guys hear from me soon before I get fired.